everyone. This is definitely something that I've never done before, but I thought was important to share. I've gone back and forth on being vulnerable with people, but I've come to realize that it's very important to be vulnerable, and it can help you realize that you're not alone. First off, my name is Skylar. I'm 21 years old, and this video not only is about sharing my story and what I've gone through, but also asking for prayers for what's to come. I started a pediatric foundation called Fighting for Fighters last year, and the whole point was to give back to kids fighting childhood cancer, heart disease, and blood disorders. I started Fighting for Fighters because since 5 years old, I have been fighting for my life, and I know what it's like to go through unimaginable circumstances medically. My pain became something that sparked my passion. I've shared my story on my personal Instagram, Facebook, and because I thought that was most appropriate. When it comes to Fighting for Fighters, I wanted everything to be about the kids and their families. My main priority is to bring awareness to different diseases and how much kids and families have been affected. I recently realized that I can't truly spread awareness without sharing my own experience to help others realize that they're not alone. When I was 5, I was diagnosed with Kawasaki disease, a heart disease that affects your coronary arteries. Yes, like the motorcycle. I was given 2 IVIG treatment sessions. First one did not work. Second one worked enough. As a rare condition and hardly enough research, there is no cure, and certain long-term side effects we just don't know what they could be. Growing up, doctors weren't always aware of what to do. For instance, I've had literal heart pain since I can remember, as well as murmurs, inflammation, arrhythmias, and the list goes on. This year, in June, I found out that I have inappropriate sinus tachycardia. My heart is being overworked, and it can't handle it. Fast forward to September, we found out that 2 valves in my heart are leaking, and the blood flow is going backwards instead of forwards. This brought the attention of being closely monitored by my doctors and my medical team. Around this time, I started having episodes where I would get a terrible migraine with following of that of vomiting, not being able to speak, shaking, terrible pain, and not in and out of consciousness, but not fully aware of what was going on. After tests, we found out that my brain was not getting enough blood flow through my carotid artery, and the oxygen was being restricted. I was put on different medications, gone up on dosages, beta blockers, pain medications, anti-seizure medicine, headache medicine, all the works. Last week, though, a stress test and a leg ultrasound revealed that I have some type of blockage around my heart, and I was diagnosed with vein insufficiency, with actually more tests being done on my heart tomorrow. My pain, heart pain, leg pain, is at an all-time high, and walking has become pretty much unbearable. But I have been given assistance by my incredible team of doctors for mobility. That is one diagnosis. Kind of on to backtrack, but on to the next. Back to 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, I was alone and a freshman in college, and I was 18 years old. I found myself in and out of doctors' offices, hospitals, oncology floors, and even MD Anderson. My first day of MD Anderson was actually on New Year's Eve. Leading up to the diagnosis of polycythemia, a subtype of MPN, a myeloproliferative neoplasm, or a type of cancer. It affects my blood and my bone marrow. Through difficult conversations, lots of therapies, procedures, medications, you name it, I've probably tried it. My oncologist decided there was nothing more that they could do, and at the end of 2022, I decided to stop extensive care. On top of this, I have multiple tumors, nodules, and masses that started in 2021, and the most recent one found in January of this year. I was also diagnosed with a rare form of genetic disorder called MTHFR and the mutation C677T that has its own different symptoms and issues. The list goes on. I have been fortunate enough to receive home care and fluids at home through an incredible company and with an incredible nurse who's been able to be there when I need it. With the progression of everything, I am asking for prayers for my health, mental state, and emotional strength. I'm beyond grateful for the people who have supported me since the beginning, those who have reached out, prayed, given up time, and given gifts, and have even helped me with my bucket list. Fighting for Fighters has been an absolute joy to start, and even being a part of the experience and giving back makes it all worthwhile. My whole life, I've wanted to give back, and to finally be able to do that is such a rewarding feeling. With hundreds of toys being donated, money being raised for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, giving personalized gifts to kids and their families, and sharing stories of angels, fighters, and survivors, it has been an extreme honor. In the end, though, I do it all for the glory of God, and I have wanted people to not look at me necessarily, but see how God intervened in my life. Despite my circumstances, He gave me a purpose. In fact, the song Even If became my fight song through everything. I actually got it tattooed on me December 2nd of this year because it's literally been my rock through everything and explains just my story to a T and how God has still used me. Because even if I don't get my cure or my miracle, I have been surrounded by many miracles. See, a miracle doesn't have to be defined as just healing, but moments of joy and encounters that you are able to witness that have led you or others to Christ. I know through all of this, He is my comfort and peace, and I am better because of Him. Even in the midst of suffering, He is still good and He is still faithful. Lately, there have been more difficult days, and the uncertainty is scary. I know that I have a God who will meet me with open arms. One quote that has really stuck with me through all the quotes that have stuck with me or that I've written was by Nightbird. I don't know if you know who that is, but she became famous off of America's Got Talent. She had terminal cancer, but used her story to and turn it into music. And one thing that she had said was that you don't have to find out that you're dying to be happy, and kind of paraphrasing off of that, but it is something that I resonated with completely because it made so much sense. You know, we don't have to find out that we're dying or go through an unimaginable circumstances, not only to be happy, but to look at life through a different perspective. And my perspective has completely changed, and I am beyond grateful for it. And so, yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for just staying on here. I don't really know. This is definitely something so out of my comfort zone, but I thought it was very important to share. People have asked if I have a wish list, so I guess I will put the link in my bio, and my foundation will most likely be in that link too. Just because, again, I want it to be all about the kids. But yeah, there will be a couple other things in the caption that really have helped me go through this and like explain more of my heart. But yeah, so this is definitely weird, but it's also a relief to just get my story out there and hopefully help others realize that they're not alone and bring awareness to diseases that some people have never even heard of or thought of. So thank you.